Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me for some more mechanical misadventures. Today I got this Yamaha YS624T. TE is tracked, E is electric start snowblower. So I scooped this thing up the other day. I got a killer deal on it. It was $100, a teeny bit of a drive, but I was confident that just driving it from the light snow area to my heavy snow area, I could probably make a profit. That's why I, have another snowblower despite having two seriously nice snow moving stuff there. So either this thing is awesome and I keep it, or it's not great and I sell it and make a decent profit. Because $100 is a killer deal for this thing. And it doesn't run. Something's going on in there. It does have an electric start. Here's its plug. I have never seen a plug like this. I think I could get this fixed. We'll see about the recoil starter and if we could get this thing going. The previous owner, he said he's had it for a little bit. He said it ran last year. You know how that is. Ran last year. And so we'll see what broke in the recoil starter. And we'll see about fixing this. I think I could get this going pretty easy. YS624T. Interesting. I'd have thought for sure it was a TE since it's electric start. There's my serial number, 96. So this is probably from 1996 if I had to take a random stab in the dark. Or it could be 98. Who knows? First, let's see about this airbox. I've had too many mouse mishaps recently, and I don't want to fire this thing up just for it to ingest rat nest. All right. It actually looks pretty good in there. Okay, let's see about this recoil starter. The old micrometer is telling me that those are 10 mil. Yes, 10 mil. Okay, when you pull this, like a little finger is supposed to come out and engage with the basket right there. But this actually looks like it's pretty simple. You just rotate it and there's our finger. Should rotate the engine. That's a little bit goofy. That looks like it's got pretty decent compression. Okay, I got a recoil starter on. I got this loop through here, so now we can... Pretty compression-y. It's a good sign. So this fuel tank has got like a little bulb down here, kind of like a sediment bulb. And even best case scenario, we've got some pretty old fuel in there. So let's see about getting that out. Right now we got it off. Oh yeah, that is that's some skunky fuel. Okay. On. Start. Yeah, I know I'm inside. It's cold. Oh. Ignition on. Oh yeah, that pissed me off. Turn that right off. I'd hate to get fumigated. On. We're in the start. That's there. Oh man. Oh. How annoying. Well, I guess I gotta take that off and find a more permanent way to fix it. Ooh, bummer. Okay, so the camera didn't do a really good job of capturing what I did on the recoil starter. And all I really did was I just screwed a screw in here. So what happened was this little plate is supposed to rotate from here to here. And at some point it jumped on the plastic and managed to like wear this away. This little tab right here ate through the plastic. So all I did was I sunk a little screw in there, and it was still sticking out a little bit, so it needed to be ground down. But that's all it really took. Now I have a nice hard stop right here. So the recoil starter won't break anymore. And I'll bet you Yamaha people that like these are probably really laughing at me when I said I would just get some spare parts, because there really aren't. Oh man. This recoil starter is counterclockwise, so I can't get like any off-brand stuff. Let me list for you some of the cardinal sins that this thing has. So you can kind of see it through here, but the crankshaft isn't the output shaft on this motor. The output is the cam. So the output shaft of this motor comes from the cam. So it's got a 2-to-1 reduction on it, like from the factory. But they still wanted it to rotate the way a normal air-cooled engine does. So the engine itself rotates counterclockwise, and it means stuff is going to come loose. Like this recoil starter basket came loose. It's hard to find parts for these things. They didn't sell these for long, and they don't really sell them in the States. So a rebuild kit for this Carb was like $70. That's crazy stuff. Yeah, this thing's got a bad case of German car. It probably works great while it works, but right now, not so much. So I took this diaphragm pump out. It looks like it's still got a lot of life in it. I mean, you might think that it's separating, but this kind comes in layers. And this also doesn't have any spare parts that I can find. It's a major bummer. So we're just gonna reuse this. I think I can get away with it. I'm gonna try to clean this a little better. Can only really go like this. Oh, a diaphragm pump like this is another small engine cardinal sin, I'll say. Because they always go bad. And the only thing worse than these going bad is it going bad and also being rare, which this one is. You could find them in limited stock for big monies. You can't find the diaphragm, just the whole pump. Some people have taken the time to convert it, but I don't think I can be bothered. Like I was complaining about earlier with the camshaft being the output shaft and the engine running counterclockwise, it means I can't give this thing the Harbor Freight tune-up or replace the engine at all. I'm stuck with all these like weird, unique things unless I want to do some big fabrication, and I don't. I was really hoping this was going to be a carb clean flip, but apparently I'm stupid. Okay, while I got all this stuff off and all the fuel stuff off, there's no reason not to take the carb off. Couldn't be bothered to drill a second hole for that spring. All right. This blower, it's got a weird combination of really smart stuff that must have taken a lot of thought and really dumb stuff that how could you miss? Like, it feels like this blower was made and designed by like one person with no one to tell them no, but nobody to tell them to, you know, cool back the big ideas. Mikuni. It's a Mikuni. Well, that's good. That means maybe it's got a replacement. I'll keep an eye out for numbers on it. Oh yeah, some good stuff. That's some good stuff. Okay, that's the way you want to play that. I don't see a spring in the needle valve, which is a little weird. I feel like that usually has a spring in it. But fine, what do I know? All right, how deep are you in there? 1, 2, 3. 3 off at the bottom. All right, let's get you good and clean now. That was the extremely worrying sound of something falling. Oh no. Alright, I decided to throw the carb stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner after all. Now we're going to work on this plug. So, all the contacts fell out of this one. That might have actually been working at some point. So I got one of these male shore power things. These are for RVs. But, hey, I won't tell if you don't tell. Alright, let's see about getting this thing on here. Thankfully, it looks really easy to wire up. We're just missing, you know, pretty minor stuff. The instructions on our plug say to nip back 1/2 inch. Oh, it's 1/2 inch. Green. It actually looks better than it did before. So it turns out these mystery wires were part of the headlight system. So, you know, kind of weird that they would include that. Again, lots of very weird random choices. But we'll just get it blocked off so nothing decides to zap. Seriously though, how much better does that look? Mint. Let's see if it'll turn over. Mint. Looks like it works. Okay, I've got my freshly cleaned carburetor on here. Hey, remember when I said I heard something fall out? It was a spring detent in the carb that helped it open and close. But, you know, that bungee works perfect. Now with that final addition, I think we're ready to fire it up and see if it'll go and stay going. Fuel on. Carb choked. Throttle medium. Ignition on. And here's our button. Tilt it back. Ooh, punchy. Okay, this thing likes to be gunned. Let's pin it. Supposed to rev at 4 Gs. I'll have to put a tack on it to confirm, but it sounds like it is. All right, let's see about this. See, it's rotating. Yeah, I mean, it's rotating in there. So there you have it. That is the Yamaha YS624 back in action. It seems like a solid blower, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. All of the weird one-off parts and quirks have kind of got me nervous. But I think either way, I'm going to be waiting until there's snow on the ground again. Then I'll have a chance to test it. I'm realizing with that Gravely, as awesome as it is, that I might have bought it from a place of emotional vulnerability. And this might actually be more reasonable. But either way, we'll see. when there's snow on the ground again, either it's the best thing since sliced bread and I'll keep it, or I don't want it and it'll be a great time to sell it. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one. Shoots.